1. Jing Yuan, the CEO, was known for his sharp decisions and relentless drive for success. But behind his strong image, few knew he was adopted by the Guo family from an orphanage. In just 7 years, he rose from the bottom to become vice general manager of Guo Share Group. At the company's annual ceremony, he gave a speech on behalf of the chairman, thanking shareholders and employees. Many believed he was ready to take over the group. But the celebration took an unexpected turn when the chairman arrived with his biological granddaughter, Xiao Yun. She politely greeted her uncle, but this was not their first meeting. A month earlier, Xiao Yun had been studying music in Germany, dreaming of becoming a violinist. Her life seemed peaceful until tragedy struck. On the day of her violin competition, she waited excitedly for her parents to arrive, only to hear a crash over the phone. Rushing to the scene, she saw their car in flames. Someone had triggered an explosion. Within hours, the pampered girl who once had everything became an orphan. Crying in her best friend Hanmi's arms, she was later told by Chairman Chong Fong that he was her grandfather. Years ago, he had opposed her parents' relationship, leading his son to cut ties with the Guo family. Now, after searching for years, he found his granddaughter, but too late to reunite the family. Xiao Yun refused to return with him, saying her father had given her mother's surname and never mentioned the Guo family, proof they didn't wish to go back. Later, at the trust fund, she received her father's last keepsake, a jade model with his name engraved. But before she could understand its meaning, she was attacked and knocked unconscious. Waking up in the hospital, she realized only the jade model had been stolen. In just a few days, she had lost her parents, been betrayed by fate, and had her only family heirlooms snatched away. Sleepless and in pain, Xiao Yun began to suspect her parents' accident wasn't accidental. Why had her grandfather reappeared right before the tragedy? Why was the model stolen the moment she got it? She remembered her parents' car had just left a repair shop, but police blamed brake failure. She also recalled seeing a scar on her attacker's hand. To make things worse, she received an anonymous letter accusing Jing Yuan of plotting against her parents. Reading his background, she couldn't shake her doubts. Believing the truth lay with the Guo family, Xiao Yun returned to Roman 11 Jiang, arriving just in time for the annual ceremony where her grandfather publicly introduced her as his long-lost granddaughter and heir to the Guo group. Back at the Guo mansion, she asked Jing Yuan if they had met before. He regretted not reuniting her family sooner and gently placed a coat on her, reminding her to get used to Roman 11 Jiang's cold. She smiled, determined to stay. This was her home now. The butler warned her not to enter Jing Yuan's room, which faced hers. Meanwhile, Jing Yuan congratulated his father on finding Xiao Yun, but the chairman revealed his true concern: he owed too much to his late son's family. Now, with only one blood relative left, he wanted to give Xiao Yun everything, even if it meant asking Jing Yuan to protect her and the Guo assets at all costs. The chairman reminded Jing Yuan that as his adopted son, he carried the responsibility of protecting the family. Meanwhile, Xiao Yun secretly entered Jing Yuan's room, but quickly hid when she heard footsteps. Jing Yuan walked in, staring at a photo of himself with his father. To him, no matter how hard he tried, he could never replace true blood relatives. Overcome with anger, he smashed the mirror, and Xiao Yun's scream from the closet gave her away. She awkwardly explained she had gotten lost in the large house, but Jing Yuan didn't believe her excuse. He directly asked what her true reason was for coming back to the Guo family. Xiao Yun insisted she only wanted to reconnect with her relatives, as her parents had left her all alone. When she noticed his bleeding hand, she offered to bandage it despite his protests. She warned him not to act recklessly or hurt himself, no matter how much he felt wronged. Touched, Jing Yuan let her tend to him and then sent her back to her room. Xiao Yun reassured him she had no desire to compete for the Guo shares and would explain everything to their grandfather when the time was right. But when Jing Yuan asked if she knew the value of the company, she replied, "Uncle, money can't bring my parents back. Now only Grandpa and you are my family, so please don't push me away." Though her words seemed sincere, Xiao Yin secretly noticed the scar on his hand, exactly like the one she had seen on the man who stole her father's jade model. The next day at Guof Share, Jing Yuan confronted Vice President Wang about fraudulent projects. Some directors felt his evidence wasn't solid and warned he might lose the support of old employees. Still, Jing Yuan ordered his assistant Lin Jai to demote Wang. Back at the Guof residence, Xiao Yin examined family photos but noticed none from Jing Yuan's birthdays. Chong Fong explained that because Jing Yuan was an orphan, he didn't even remember his birth date. Soon after, Xiao Yin invited her uncle to eat the red bean soup she had made. Though Jing Yuan tried to refuse, his father urged him to accept her gesture. Xiao Yin playfully had him input random numbers into a game app secretly designed by her best friend to capture his fingerprints and unlock the safe in his room. Laughing at his bad luck in the game, she sweetened the moment by offering more soup. Later, she asked her grandfather about a jade model with her father's name. Chong Fong revealed it had been a gift from his late wife, and whoever returned it to the Guof family would inherit 10% of the shares. Hearing this, Xiao Yin suspected Jing Yuan wanted to stop her from gaining her rightful inheritance. That night, in the freezing cold, Jing Yuan recalled the day his father had first brought him home. Despite all the years together, he had never been treated as a true son, only as someone tasked with protecting his niece. As Jing Yuan entered, Xiao Yin suddenly wished him a happy birthday. He shut the door, insisting she had the wrong day. But Xiao Yin had overheard their grandfather mention that his adoption papers didn't include his birth date, so he never celebrated. She declared that the day he joined the Guof family would now be his birthday. Jing Yuan dismissed the idea, but she cheerfully insisted she loved birthdays and wanted him to feel happier. Offering him a glass of wine, she moved closer, only for Jing Yuan to suddenly pull her in and ask, "Haven't you ever suspected me of killing your parents? Half the employees believe it." Xiao Yin calmly replied that the police said it was a brake failure and that she only returned to the Guof family for her relatives. She wished him happy birthday again, and Jing Yuan thanked her, drinking from her glass. But Xiao Yin had prepared in advance. She had drugged her own wine, knowing Jing Yuan would avoid drinking from his. Believing him asleep, she opened his safe using different codes until she tried the date he entered the Guof family, and it worked. Just as she reached for his fingerprint, he grabbed her hand, revealing he had never drunk the wine at all. Jing Yuan admitted he had suspected her from the start, but wanted to see if she was capable of living up to the Guof name. Xiao Yin, frustrated, accused him of being worse than an animal. To her shock, Jing Yuan revealed what was inside the safe, a jade model identical to her father's, but engraved with his name. He explained that every Guof child received one, leaving Xiao Yin disappointed and unsure if he was truly innocent. Still, she decided to push him further. The next day, she deliberately sat in his place beside their grandfather, hoping to provoke him. To her surprise, Jing Yuan gave up the seat willingly, even smiling as he recalled their small birthday celebration. Xiao Yin thought her parents in heaven might be blessing this new bond. Later, she asked to join her uncle on some errands. In the car, she secretly planted a GPS tracker while demanding he take her to the company. Jing Yuan warned her not to interfere with Guof business and dropped her off. Tracking the device, she learned he visited an exclusive club daily, disguised as an employee. Determined to uncover his secrets, she asked someone to distract him and slipped into a private room to set up a hidden camera. Just then, a female guest entered, asking for wine. As Xiao Yin tried to leave unnoticed, Jing Yuan spotted her and felt something familiar. Thinking quickly, she removed her jacket and hugged a male guest, managing to fool her uncle and escape. Grateful, she thanked the stranger for helping her cover. In his room, Jing Yuan listened to his trusted assistant, Guangqing, who reported that many small shareholders supported him in opposing the chairman. She reminded him that he had sacrificed so much for Guof, while Chong Fong had been unfair to him first. What they didn't expect was for Xiao Yian to secretly record a video. Butler Su recalled that Jing Yuan and Guangqing had grown up together in the orphanage, and after joining the Guo family, he brought her along to work with him. Meanwhile, Xiao Yian asked her grandfather to let her join the company, hoping it would help her investigate Jing Yuan more closely. That night, she dreamed of the fire that took her parents and woke up terrified. Just then, Jing Yuan returned her bag, saying he had met someone like her earlier that morning. As he tucked her hair back, he warned her not to let him catch her again. The next day, Chong Fong personally brought his granddaughter to the company and introduced her to Director Chun, a trusted executive who had worked with him for decades. Chun guided Xiao Yun around and quietly expressed his worry that Jing Yuan would never willingly hand the company to her. But Xiao Yun believed that as long as her grandfather stood by her, she had nothing to fear. Later, when Jing Yuan's meeting ended, Chun introduced her to the team as the future chairwoman. He suggested giving Xiao Yun real responsibilities, though Guangqing questioned her qualifications and background. Xiao Yun remembered how her grandfather once started at the bottom before rising to vice general manager. She promised she wasn't there to stir up conflict, only to prove herself worthy. At that moment, the chairman walked in and called for a vote to make her CEO. Leading by example, he raised his hand, and the rest followed. Jing Yuan congratulated her, though uneasily. In her new office, Xiao Yian was overwhelmed by piles of financial ledgers. Since she had no finance background, she struggled to understand them. Vice President Wang mocked her politely, saying it would take forever to grasp the 3-year report. Determined, Xiao Yian declared she'd finish in 3 days. That night, she returned home late and found Jing Yuan waiting on the stairs. He asked if she ever felt fear. Xiao Yian admitted she feared the darkness in the house, and even more that the wicked might escape justice. Jing Yuan warned her that Guof's situation was worsening and suggested she step back. But Xiao Yian refused to quit, even if it cost her everything. Soon after, Vice President Wang handed her documents showing Jing Yuan transferred money abroad every month, hinting at embezzlement. Xiao Yian wondered if Wang truly wanted to ally with her against Jing Yuan or if someone else was manipulating him. Still, she pretended to share his goal of exposing her uncle. At the next shareholders' meeting, Xiao Yian arrived late. Butler Su announced the vote for Guof's new CEO. When the ballots were counted, she and Jing Yuan were tied with 3 votes each, while the final shareholder, Mr. Dan, was still overseas on vacation. Jing Yuan announced that Mr. Da had already given him his vote. Director Chun immediately accused him of secretly buying up Guof shares and meeting Mr. Da overseas to take control of the company. Jing Yuan didn't deny acquiring shares, but explained he had done so only because Chun and other shareholders had been short-selling stocks when Xiao Yian returned. If he hadn't bought them at a low price, the company would have faced heavy losses. It turned out that his scene with Guangqing at the bar was just a setup to expose those trying to profit illegally. Meanwhile, Xiao Yian slipped into Jing Yuan's office and tried the password again. To her surprise, it was still the date he first entered the Guo family. Back in the boardroom, Chun accused Jing Yuan of being the company's biggest problem, waiting for Xiao Yian to reveal evidence. Right then, she presented documents proving assets had been transferred abroad. When she asked Chun if he admitted guilt, he nervously tried to shift the blame. Xiao Yian realized he was the one who had sent her the anonymous letter accusing Jing Yuan. The envelope matched the company name in the overseas account. Chun had lured her back to China to use her against her uncle. Shocked, the chairman ordered Butler Su to call the police. But Chun panicked and turned on Vice President Wang instead. He then threatened Xiao Yian, demanding 50 million yuan. Jing Yuan immediately agreed to buy time, promising Xiao Yian he would protect her. He sent Butler Su to escort the chairman to the hospital, then rushed after Wang. At the car, Wang demanded Jing Yuan's vehicle. With a glance, Jing Yuan signaled his assistant to bring it over, while Xiao Yian secretly called Hanmi, telling her to track the car. As Wang dragged Xiao Yian inside, Jing Yuan reassured her. Don't be afraid, I'm here. She dropped her phone on the ground before the door shut. Picking it up, Jing Yuan heard Hanmi confirm the tracker was active. He muttered that he'd deal with Xiao Yin later, but quickly followed the signal to an abandoned building. Upstairs, he heard noises and rushed to save her. Wang, terrified of Jing Yuan, grew desperate and threatened Xiao Yin. She fought back, biting his hand, but he shoved her, making her hit her head hard against a wooden board. Consumed with hatred, Wang shouted that the Guo family had ruined him and pushed him to this breaking point. Wang tried to finish off the Guo bloodline, but Jing Yuan arrived just in time to shield Xiao Yin. Though injured, he carried her to the hospital as she fainted, calling out for her parents. By her bedside, he comforted her, insisting he never harmed them. Jing Yuan explained that the money Chen accused him of transferring abroad was actually sent to her father for her mother's treatment. He had even gone to Germany, hoping to reunite the family, but her father chose to protect them by staying away. From then on, Jing Yuan secretly guarded Xiao Yin, even after the accident, fearing she might become a target. Xiao Yin, shaken, asked why he would risk everything for her. Jing Yuan admitted that in the past he only wanted to make his father proud, but now he would rather be her protector even if others mocked him as the Guo family's dog. Touched but overwhelmed, Xiao Yin slipped out of the hospital and went to her parents' graves, regretting how she had misjudged him. Jing Yuan soon found her asleep at the cemetery, draped his coat over her, and gently wiped her tears when she woke. She confessed that after losing her parents, uncovering the truth had been her only purpose, but now all leads were gone. Jing Yuan comforted her, urging her to come home. That night, he carried her through the rain, admitting his mistakes and painful past, being abandoned, abused by a foster father, and bullied in the orphanage until the Guo family adopted him. Xiao Yin listened quietly, realizing how much suffering he had endured, while Jing Yuan reassured her that no matter how deep the pain, it would eventually pass. Jing Yuan encouraged Xiao Yin to stop living in the past and face life ahead. Back home, she apologized for worrying her grandfather, while Chong Feng privately scolded Jing Yuan for acting on his own. Jing Yuan suspected the car crash wasn't an accident, believing either Chen or Wang was behind it. Since the mastermind didn't want Xiao Yin's family to return and inherit Guo, Chong Feng urged him to continue investigating. Outside his room, Xiao Yin carefully bandaged her uncle's wounds, apologizing for hurting him earlier. Jing Yuan promised to uncover the truth if she promised not to act recklessly. Later, Xiao Yin confided in her best friend about wanting to return to Germany to find clues, though she feared her grandfather would refuse. The next morning, she told Jing Yuan about her dream of becoming a violinist and begged him to convince her grandfather. Jing Yuan suggested she could study music at the local conservatory with a German professor if needed, but Xiao Yin insisted she didn't belong here. Moved by her sincerity, he agreed to help. Overjoyed, she hugged him tightly, making him laugh at her persistence. At dinner, Xiao Yin tried to bring up studying abroad, but Chong Feng revealed his own plan, transferring her to a new school to study business and prepare to inherit Guo. Xiao Yin refused, explaining she only agreed before because she suspected Jing Yuan, but now that she knew the truth, she wanted to return to her music. Her grandfather firmly rejected the idea, believing she was safest by his side. Jing Yuan stepped in, saying he had already arranged her studies in Germany and someone to care for her there. He argued that Xiao Yin should live freely, and there would be time for inheritance later. Chong Feng disagreed, warning his granddaughter in private to test Jing Yuan's intentions. If her uncle truly had no hidden motives, he would willingly follow her abroad. Xiao Yin trusted her uncle as family, but Chong Feng reminded her that Jing Yuan carried no Guo blood and warned that human nature was the most dangerous thing of all. Meanwhile, Jing Yuan told Wangking he planned to go abroad with Xiao Yin. She assumed he wanted to clear his name while keeping power, but he confessed he had no such ambition. His toughest battles were already behind him, and he had fulfilled his promise of taking Wonking out of the orphanage. That night, Xiao Yian noticed her uncle had been drinking. Though he insisted it was only a little, she teased that lying would make his nose grow long. When her grandfather suddenly appeared, she quickly hid Jing Yuan behind a chair, nearly falling into his arms. Their close moment left her flustered, but Jing Yuan gently reminded her to stay quiet. Later, under the moonlight, Xiao Yian recalled watching the sky with her parents in Germany and wished her uncle would share those moments too. Jing Yuan revealed he was ready to resign and go with her, but she begged him not to compromise with her grandfather. Half joking, she told him to work hard and earn money so she could rely on him if the Guof family collapsed. Jing Yuan asked if she truly believed he wouldn't fight for Guof, and she assured him that if he were selfish, he wouldn't have risked his life to protect her. Deeply moved, Jing Yuan promised to stay by her side and even dreamed of attending her violin performance as her father once would have. He then took her to the orphanage where he grew up, now set for auction. His dream was to rebuild it into a community for children with schools, parks, and a large orphanage. Inspired, Xiao Yian added her own wish for a music center, and Jing Yuan promised they would make it happen together after the auction. But just as they were making plans, his assistant called with urgent news Guof was in crisis. Stock prices crashed while Chun Group soared, threatening to take over key land in the upcoming government auction. Xiao Yian convinced her grandfather to let Jing Yuan handle the situation. Back in her room, while packing for Germany, she received another update from Hanmi. German police had found the suspect's abandoned car, and cameras caught him walking away. Xiao Yian noticed that the cigarettes the suspect held matched the ones at the abandoned building. The next day, her grandfather struggled with the thought of letting her go, but encouraged her to chase her dreams, reminding her never to forget where home was. Meanwhile, Jing Yuan focused on stabilizing the company, staring out at the planes he wished he could board. Soon after, he attended the Roman 11 Jiang Entrepreneurs Charity Gala, where reporters questioned Chairman Chun about rumors of Guof's downfall. Chun denied everything, boasting of his confidence. Jing Yuan arrived with a sharp reply, quoting Chairman Guof, "Clean your own house before trying to clean the world." Then, to everyone's surprise, Xiao Yian stepped out of his car, declaring she would face the storm with her uncle. At the event, Xiao Yian noticed all eyes on Jing Yuan, and whispers spread that their family unity was just for show. When a jealous socialite tried to humiliate her by splashing water, she dodged quickly, though Jing Yuan wanted to intervene. Later, while enjoying pastries, Xiao Yian was suddenly blindfolded by a familiar warm voice. It was Zhu, the chairman's son, who confessed he didn't want family rivalries to ruin their connection. She dismissed the idea of any relationship, but their conversation was interrupted by a sorrowful violin piece. To Zhu, the melody spoke of love surviving even death. From across the room, Jing Yuan grew uneasy seeing his niece with another man. He warned her about gossip, but Xiao Yian brushed it off, reminding him he acted too much like an elder. When a friend challenged her to perform, Xiao Yian confidently accepted, introducing Guof as a model company devoted to charity. Inspired by her determination, Jing Yuan offered to accompany her on the piano. As his fingers danced across the keys and her violin filled the room, their music blended seamlessly, holding the entire audience captive. In that moment, Jing Yuan admired how fiercely Xiao Yian protected her dreams, unwilling to bend for anyone. The music ended to endless applause. Later at home, Jing Yuan pulled Xiao Yian aside, asking why she truly stayed in Roman 11 Jiang. She explained that just before leaving for Germany, Hanmi told her the police had found a suspect named Ling Fo, who had fled back to Roman 11 Jiang after the accident. Afraid her grandfather would stop her, she faked a stomachache and turned to Jing Yuan for help. She believed Wang Hai was connected to Ling Fo, since she remembered he didn't smoke. Yet the table in the abandoned building was covered with the same German cigarettes Ling used, cigarettes that weren't even sold in China. Jing Yuan urged her to hand over the case and stop investigating, but Xiao Yian refused, determined to find the truth about her parents' deaths. He made her promise never to act alone, warning she'd be sent back to Germany if she broke that rule. She playfully sealed it with a pinky swear, though he called it childish. After the charity gala, Guof's stock price climbed, but the rumors weren't spread by Qinsher, it was Hang Yao, the editor of Roman 11 Jiang Daily, who was working with Wonking. Over a bowl of wontons, Jing Yuan confronted Wonking, reminding her how they once dreamed as kids about owning a wonton stall. But now, he questioned why she fueled false rumors. She admitted she only wanted to keep him at Guof, afraid he would leave her behind. Jing Yuan told her he made his own decisions and warned that betraying the Guo family was his final line. Meanwhile, Xiao Yian caught Wang Hai's wife handing over Guof's bidding documents to a man with the same birthmark as Ling Fo. She quickly chased him while sending her uncle her location. Jing Yuan begged her not to act alone, but she followed Ling to the abandoned building, where he drugged her. By the time Jing Yuan arrived, he found only her earring on the ground and called the police. Xiao Yian awoke tied up, but with a shard of glass she had hidden, she began cutting the rope. Ling Fo confessed that he stole the model, planted the bomb that killed her parents, and now wanted to send her to join them. Just as he tried to stop her escape, Jing Yuan rushed in to save her. Ling admitted someone had hired him, but before revealing more, the fight ended. Outside, Xiao Yian was shaken, but relieved to reunite with her best friend Hanmi, who had returned earlier than expected and was welcomed warmly at Guof. Hanmi couldn't reach Xiao Yian, so she rushed to get Jing Yuan's help. Dragging Lin Roman 11 into the car, she sped off recklessly, leaving him terrified. Their bickering stopped only when Jing Yuan ordered everyone to calm down and go home. Later, Xiao Yian noticed a wound on her uncle's hand, but instead of answering, he scolded her for breaking her promise. She kept pestering him, insisting that she only acted because she couldn't let Ling Fo escape. Confidently, she added that no matter what, her uncle would always come to save her. Worried and angry, Jing Yuan warned her that she would be sent back to Germany in a few days. That night, he replayed every moment when Xiao Yian had been in danger, torn between anger and his weakness for her sweet words. When he entered his room, he found a stuffed pig with a hidden recorder inside. It squeaked out Xiao Yian's apology, asking him to give her another chance. For a moment, his heart softened. The next morning, Xiao Yian greeted him warmly, but he ignored her and slammed the door. At breakfast, she asked her grandfather if family should forgive each other, clearly upset. When she tried to catch a ride with Jing Yuan, he locked the door, only opening it to tell her again to return to Germany. He also warned her not to wander around since Ling Fo was still at large. To keep her in check, he took her phone, shared her location, and told her that leaving the marked areas meant immediate return to Germany. It was punishment, he said, for secretly tracking his car. Later, Xiao Yian vented to Hanmi about her strict uncle, and Hanmi teased that it was like coaxing a difficult CEO. Curious why Hanmi was at Lin Zai's place, Xiao Yian learned that he had offered her a spare room after she refused the hotel he booked. On the drive home, Jing Yuan heard a radio story about a man named Watermelon who bought up all taxi ad space just to apologize to Xilong Bio. When Jing Yuan opened the car door, he saw taxis everywhere covered with messages like, "Nai apologizes, Uncle Xilong Bio, please come back." Watermelon even bought a signboard just for him. Shocked, Jing Yuan asked Xiao Yian where she got the money, only to learn she had secretly used his credit card. She pleaded with him not to send her back to Germany, insisting it was her heartfelt apology. Amused, Jing Yuan teased her for becoming more cunning. Later, when he tried to book taxi ads himself, the company told him Watermelon had already renewed for another month, and they fully supported her devotion. Frustrated, Jing Yuan vented to the stuffed pig, but the more he replayed her recorded apology, the more he found himself laughing. Xiao Yian thought he was losing his mind. At breakfast, she couldn't bring herself to eat a bun shaped like Xilong Bio, while Jing Yuan casually ordered watermelon juice. Soon after, he asked permission from his father to take Xiao Yian to the land auction. Meanwhile, Ling Fong secretly sent Guof's documents to his boss and prepared to escape abroad. At the results announcement, the finalists were Xian Fei Group, Qinhe, and Guof. The organizers declared Qinhe the winner, but then revealed Guof also tied for first place. Qinhe had proposed a commercial hub, while Guof focused on a child-friendly residential project, something the city had never seen before. Since both had strengths and weaknesses, a second round of selection would be held. Later, Xiao Yian met Wang Qing, who explained that the committee doubted Guof's lack of experience in child-friendly projects. Xiao Yian proposed a solution but needed the design director's help. Wang Qing agreed only because of Jing Yuan, though Xiao Yian asked her to keep it secret from him. That night, Jing Yuan noticed his niece still working at the company. Curious, he learned from his assistant that she often visited Wang Qing's office. Instead of confronting her, he ordered late-night food for them. Soon after, Xiao Yian revealed her surprise, a detailed model of the child-friendly community she had built with Wang Qing's designs. To promote the child-friendly project, Xiao Yian suggested turning the press conference into a family experience day. She even dragged her uncle into the ball pit, teasing him about reliving his childhood. Surprised, Jing Yuan stumbled in and instinctively hugged her when they both fell. Their hearts raced as they landed together, and the closeness left them flustered. Xiao Yian quickly covered the moment, saying Wang Qing told her he loved ball pits as a child, and she didn't want him to grow up without fulfilling his dreams. Jing Yuan thanked her, admitting it made him feel like a more meaningful adult. She later gave him a doodled smiley face, begging not to be sent back to Germany. He couldn't resist her playful charm, and though he teased her, he secretly carried the smiley face everywhere. Back at the office, Xiao Yian presented her plan to make the event free, proving Guof valued both the economy and families. Jing Yuan admired her determination but reminded her to double-check safety measures. Just then, news broke that Ling Fong had been caught, but was in a coma after a failed escape. Jing Yuan comforted his niece, saying justice would come. On Family Day, kids explored the model community and played happily, until a group of children suddenly fell sick after eating cake. Parents panicked, demanding answers. Jing Yuan assured them all food was checked and rushed the children to the hospital, but the doctor reported the cakes had expired ingredients. Realizing sabotage, Jing Yuan vowed to take full responsibility. As if things weren't bad enough, Jing Yuan's estranged father, Hui, appeared on TV. He accused his son of abandoning his poor family, claiming he once stole and now used children to win bids. The shocking accusations turned public opinion against Jing Yuan. Memories of being beaten and blamed as the unwanted child came flooding back. When Jing Yuan finally faced his father, he coldly asked what he truly wanted. Hui coldly admitted he ruined Jing Yuan's life because he was an illegitimate child unworthy of living. But Jing Yuan warned him not to trap him in old childhood nightmares. Hui then revealed a shocking secret: Jing Yuan's mother was still alive and dared him to gamble with her life. Staring at his mother's photo, Jing Yuan was shaken. Meanwhile, Xiao Yian tried calling her uncle, but couldn't reach him. Wang Qing explained that Hui wasn't Jing Yuan's real father. He had only married his mother, then drank, stole, and beat people, blaming everything on Jing Yuan. Even if Jing Yuan told the truth, no one would believe him. Wang Qing recalled that when Jing Yuan was sad, he preferred being alone, but Xiao Yian believed he secretly wanted someone to find him. At the experience area, she discovered her uncle hiding inside a ball pit. Acting playful, she pretended to be scared of the dark and refused to leave unless he showed himself. Moved, Jing Yuan shifted so she could spot him. "Don't worry, I'm fine," he said, but she saw through him. "No, you're not. Lean on me, cry if you need to. If not, I'll still be here for you." When he pushed her away, Xiao Yian hugged him tightly, reminding him she knew his heart was silently calling her name. At last, Jing Yuan allowed himself to show weakness and held her close, grateful she was by his side. After calming down, he realized someone was pulling strings because right after the family event incident, Hiwei appeared on TV to slander him. Knowing her uncle couldn't face Hiwei, Xiao Yian offered to fight for him. Reporting to her grandfather, she swore not to let Hiwei cross the Guo family's limits. If he dared to demand a live-stream confrontation, she would stand up and protect her uncle. Chongfeng supported her, already preparing evidence with Butler Su. While Xiao Yian built her arguments, Jing Yuan quietly watched, touched by her determination to defend him. During the live stream, Hiwei pretended to act pitiful, but Xiao Yian cut him off, exposing that he was never a true father. She revealed police reports proving he abused Jing Yuan, once even pushing him onto broken glass that left scars requiring stitches. She reminded everyone how he abandoned Jing Yuan at the orphanage, only returning to demand money. Cornered, Hiwei tried to defend himself, showing a fake confession where Jing Yuan supposedly admitted to stealing. He even accused Jing Yuan of threatening parents of poisoned children. Outraged, Xiao Yian called him worse than an animal. Losing control, Hiwei threw water on her, but Jing Yuan rushed in to shield his niece. "You've already done so much for me," he told her. "I won't let you face this alone." He then revealed the voice recorder he carried when he ran away, proof that Hiwei had stolen from the mall, and forced him to confess. When Hiwei tried to twist the story again, Xiao Yun grabbed the recorder, unable to stay silent. Though Hiwei shouted it was fake, Jing Yuan stopped him. He promised to send the evidence for forensic testing and release the food safety results publicly. "People say I'm just the Guo family's dog," he declared. "But so what when they're the ones who gave me a real family?" Jing Yuan declared that no matter what others thought of him, the Guo family would always be his. Anyone daring to defame them would face his lawyer. Taking Xiao Yian home, they joined Chongfeng for hot pot. Though the doctor had warned against drinking, Chongfeng couldn't resist sharing a cup with his son, reminding him the Guo family would always have his back. During dinner, Jing Yuan noticed Xiao Yian prick her hand on a shrimp whisker and gently peeled one for her. She was moved by his quiet care. Their hands brushed while reaching for the wine jar, hearts racing beneath the sound of boiling broth. Jing Yuan warned her not to drink too much, but in her room later, Xiao Yian admitted her feelings were overwhelming. Rewatching the live stream, she remembered all the times he risked everything to protect her. At work, Jing Yuan discovered that kitchen manager Zhang Jun had been ordered to buy cheap food. He recalled seeing Zhang Jun with a suspicious man and sent Ling Jai to investigate. Later, he confronted Hiwei and learned the man was Zhu Ming from Chinyer Group. Jing Yuan stormed into Chimi's office, accusing him of endangering children just to take land. Evidence of bribery surfaced, and the police soon called Chimi for questioning. Jing Yuan vowed he would make him pay, but Chimi only taunted him with secrets about his biological mother, before his son Zhu interrupted. At the hospital, Xiao Yian comforted sick children and defended her uncle's kind heart. A little girl even teased that Xiao Yian must be his girlfriend, leaving them both flustered. Meanwhile, Chimi shifted blame onto his marketing director, calling Zhu Ming reckless. To unwind, Xiao Yian attended a violin performance, where she met Zhu again. He apologized for his father's actions and invited her to join his small theater. While Jing Yuan searched for his missing mother, Xiao Yuan texted him to meet. Under a single spotlight, she played her violin, filling his heart with bittersweet warmth. She asked if she should perform at Zhu's theater, but Jing Yuan only warned her to be cautious with Chimi's son, not wanting to control her choices. Jing Yuan knew Xiao Yian had been exhausted because of her parents' troubles, so he swore to find the real culprit. She thanked him, but he told her it was he who owed her. She had faced the cameras to protect him, something he could never forget. His only thought was to stop anyone from hurting the person he cared about. Xiao Yian's heart raced, and Hami later teased that her anxiety was actually the symptoms of being in love. Embarrassed, Xiao Yian avoided eye contact with Jing Yuan, but when a guard suddenly appeared, she pulled him into a changing room to hide. Staring into his eyes, she admitted she didn't want to call him uncle anymore and leaned in, almost kissing him. But at the last moment, Jing Yuan turned away, leaving them both flustered. At Hami's house, Xiao Yan confessed she had acted impulsively, but her friend reminded her that Jing Yuan wasn't her real uncle and only 5 years older. If her feelings were real, she shouldn't hold back. Later, Xiao Yan asked Jing Yuan if she could call him by his name, explaining she saw him more as a friend than an elder. Jing Yuan grew serious, saying he protected her because they were family and he didn't want her to misunderstand. Xiao Yan laughed that he was too old-fashioned and teased him with European customs, almost kissing him again before storming off in frustration. At work, Wang Qing congratulated Jing Yuan on winning the land bid and offered to be his lead designer. Though Jing Yuan reminded her she already held that position, he admitted he still respected her as a sister for saving him years ago. Wang Qing invited him out, but he declined, promising to eat at home. That night, Xiao Yan messaged him, hinting he was avoiding her. Shaken by the memory of her almost kiss, Jing Yuan lied that he had to work late, though Xiao Yan saw right through him. Upset, she told Hami it was her first time liking someone, and she didn't want to ruin it. To protect herself, she started avoiding him, completely refusing meals and running whenever they crossed paths. Meanwhile, Chimmy invited reporters to clear his name. He claimed Zhu Ming's dirty tactics had nothing to do with Qinshi and stressed that his family and the Guofs were close, even pointing out that Xiao Yan was good friends with his son. Jing Yuan agreed to represent his father at Chimmy's invitation, though Chong Fong insisted on joining since he believed Chimmy's move into real estate was aimed at them. At the event, reporters and a grand cake were prepared, but Chong Fong only wanted a private talk. He brought Jing Yuan along and told Xiao Yan to wait outside. While listening to music with Zhu, Xiao Yan encouraged him not to blame himself for his mother's death, saying his mother would want him to live well. When she slipped away, she overheard Chimmy accusing the Guo family of causing his father's death. Chong Fong explained they had tried to compensate during the stock crisis, but Chimmy's father borrowed recklessly, which led to tragedy. Xiao Yan accidentally entered Chimmy's secret art room and discovered her late mother's belongings, confirming Chimmy's involvement. Jing Yuan warned her not to act rashly since Chimmy was dangerous. To get closer to the truth, Xiao Yan agreed to join Zhu's theater. Zhu, who secretly liked her, planned a birthday dinner and even called her his guest of honor. But at the restaurant, gossipy guests insulted both of them for their backgrounds. Furious, Xiao Yan defended herself and Zhu proudly. Meanwhile, Chimmy continued hiding secrets while supporting Zhu's concert, unaware Jing Yuan had set a trap. Using a voice changer, Jing Yuan lured Chimmy into meeting Liang Fong and recorded his confession about orchestrating Guohai's accident out of jealousy. When confronted, Chimmy admitted he hated the Guo family and blamed them for stealing the woman he loved. But Jing Yuan exposed him for choosing money and power over love. Chimmy was arrested, leaving Zhu devastated by the truth about his father. With the culprit finally caught, Xiao Yan collapsed from exhaustion and grief, whispering for her parents even in her sleep. Jing Yuan stayed by her side, comforting her like when she was a child. He promised that she still had him and her grandfather to rely on. The warmth of his care made Xiao Yan cling to him, afraid of losing more family. Meanwhile, Zhu discovered that the rumors were true. His father had only married for money while still holding on to his old lover in secret. Later, Chong Fong urged Jing Yuan to consider marriage and even mentioned Miss He as a good match. But when asked if he liked someone, Jing Yuan lowered his gaze and denied it, though his eyes betrayed his true feelings toward Xiao Yan. Hearing he wasn't marrying Miss He, Xiao Yan felt relieved but tried to hide her jealousy. When she coughed from frustration, Jing Yuan panicked and fussed over her, showing again how deeply he cared. Xiao Yan asked Jing Yuan if his care for her was only out of duty as her uncle. With tears streaming down, she turned away, not realizing his heart was breaking. Jing Yuan silently carried the pain, memorizing every happy moment with her while lacking the courage to reach for her hand. The next morning, Chairman Hugh arrived, and Chong Fong warmly invited him to a meal. Hugh congratulated Jing Yuan on winning the Eastern Land and offered his company's support. During dinner, Hugh praised Xiao Yian's beauty and suggested a marriage prospect. But Xiao Yan described her ideal man cold on the outside, but soft-hearted, someone who always kept his promises. Distracted, Jing Yuan instinctively gave the shrimp to Xiao Yan instead of Hugh, exposing his affection. Later, Xiao Yan overheard Hugh gossiping and angrily played sharp notes on her violin. Hugh admitted she didn't believe in love, only in strategic marriages. Jing Yuan rejected her advances, saying he didn't love her, but she warned him not to fall for his niece. Passing by, he saw Xiao Yan playing in tears and longed to be the one holding her hand at the altar, but he knew his father would never allow it. The next day at breakfast, Chong Fong agreed to support Xiao Yan's dream of studying in Germany and promised to go with her. Meanwhile, Jing Yuan begged his father not to force him to marry Hugh, but Chong Fong insisted it was his duty as head of the family. Soon after, the company announced both the cooperation deal and Jing Yuan's engagement with Hugh. Wang Qing began secretly investigating and discovered Hugh had another lover. Elsewhere, Xiao Yan comforted the heartbroken Zhu, who had collapsed from drinking. She stayed by his side at the hospital, encouraging him to rebuild his life. When she returned, Jing Yuan, restless after waiting all night, demanded to know where she had been. She claimed she stayed at a friend's house, but he doubted her words. He admitted he was anxious because she hadn't answered his calls, but Xiao Yan argued she wasn't a child who needed constant watching. Wang Qing exposed Hugh's affair by sending photos of her with a younger man. Meanwhile, Zhu returned Xiao Yan her mother's favorite painting and shared his plans to revive Qinyer. As Xiao Yan encouraged him, he suddenly hugged her just as Jing Yuan appeared and dragged her away, furious. Xiao Yan tried to distance herself, saying they should live their own lives and not interfere. But unable to hold back, Jing Yuan kissed her, confessing he no longer wanted to be just her uncle. Their passion grew, and though Xiao Yan was shy, she couldn't hide her feelings. Their closeness didn't escape notice. Wang Qing saw their kiss. Sister Zhu mistook Jing Yuan for Xiao Yan's boyfriend, and Chong Fong warned them to keep proper distance. Yet, at night, Jing Yuan couldn't resist seeking her out again, whispering that when the time was right, he would tell his father the truth. Torn between duty and love, Jing Yuan even offered to give up his shares, declaring Xiao Yan was the only one he could marry. His father, however, warned that public opinion would destroy her. Later, Chong Fong suggested changing Xiao Yan's surname to protect her, but she insisted on keeping her parents' name. He took her shopping for clothes to attend a major signing ceremony, which also served as Jing Yuan and Hugh's engagement announcement. With a heavy heart, Xiao Yan planned to take the blame herself. But during the event, Hugh shocked everyone by breaking off the engagement, revealing that Jing Yuan had cornered her with evidence of her affair. She chose freedom, leaving Jing Yuan to bear the consequences. Relieved yet shaken, Xiao Yan told him softly, "One uncle is enough." Chong Fong questioned if they weren't ashamed, but Jing Yuan admitted he ruined the engagement with the Zhu family and was ready to face the consequences. Still, he refused to abandon Xiao Yan. She begged her grandfather not to blame him, reminding him that love between them wasn't wrong. She only wished for his understanding. Fearing the family would shatter if their relationship failed, Chong Fong hesitated, but Jing Yuan swore he would love her forever. Xiao Yan compared their love to her father's undying devotion and vowed never to give up. The stress caused Chong Fong to collapse, though the doctor assured it wasn't life-threatening. Feeling guilty, Xiao Yan blamed herself, but Jing Yuan took responsibility, promising to win his father's approval. Even when his father demanded he break up, Jing Yuan refused, tending to him while juggling company matters. Meanwhile, Xiao Yan tried to ease her grandfather's heart by cooking for him, insisting her love for Jing Yuan was real and not just gratitude. she declared she wouldn't choose between them because she loved both. Later, while supporting Jing Yuan at work, their bond deepened, leading to their first heartfelt kiss only to be caught by Wang Qing, who confessed her own feelings for him. Jing Yuan gently rejected her, making it clear Xiao Yun was the only one he loved. But their happiness was short-lived. A secret video of their kiss spread online, sparking harsh rumors that Jing Yuan was after the Gu family's fortune. When a mob harassed Xiao Yan at the hospital, Jing Yuan protected her fiercely, carrying her through the crowd. At home, she comforted him with her own kiss, insisting they face hardships together. As rumors grew, Jing Yuan decided the only way to silence the world was to renounce his adopted status in the Gu family so his love for Xiao Yan could no longer be questioned. Jing Yuan was ready to give up everything just to marry Xiao Yan, even if it meant a secret wedding. Meanwhile, Wang Qing admitted she had leaked the video, hoping it would push Chairman Gu to sympathize and accept their relationship. But Jing Yuan warned her not to meddle, later apologizing to Xiao Yan on Wang Qing's behalf. Wanting to lighten the mood, he took her to a special place he always went when he was sad. There, he suddenly pulled out a ring and proposed from the heart, confessing how she had broken down his walls and made him want to protect her forever. Xiao Yan, touched to tears, said yes. The next day, with reporters crowding the Gu family's lobby, Jing Yuan openly held Xiao Yan's hand while Chairman Gu announced his full support, even calling their love legitimate. To ease the pressure on both his father and Xiao Yan, Jing Yuan publicly gave up his Gu family name so their marriage wouldn't be questioned. Moved, Chong Fong finally gave his blessing. Soon, their wedding arrived, golden sunlight, blooming flowers, and heartfelt vows. In front of everyone, Jing Yuan kissed Xiao Yan as his wife, promising to protect her all his life. That night, back in the bridal suite, both were nervous but overjoyed. Xiao Yan, tipsy from wine, clung to him sweetly, teasing about his hidden strength. With flushed cheeks and pounding hearts, they embraced their new life together, whispering promises that they would always belong to each other. Jing Yuan promised to protect Xiao Yan no matter what. But on their wedding night, she pushed him onto the bed only to fall asleep beside him. Smiling, he held her gently, and that was how they spent their first night. The next morning, embarrassed by her drunken antics, Xiao Yan tried to play it off, but Jing Yuan teased her until she kissed him first. Their family overheard and laughed, urging them to act more like a married couple. At breakfast, Jing Yuan fussed over Xiao Yan's health, while Grandpa Chong jokingly complained about losing his granddaughter. Later, Jing Yuan announced his resignation from the company to avoid gossip, but Xiao Yan objected. During the shareholders' meeting, she declared that even without the Gu family name, Jing Yuan was her husband and a true part of the family. To make up for their missed wedding night, Xiao Yan decorated their room with candles and flowers. But things grew tense when Wang Qing asked Jing Yuan for a farewell hug. Though Xiao Yan trusted him, she couldn't help showing her jealousy, which Jing Yuan found adorable. Their playful argument turned into a passionate kiss, sealing their real wedding night with vows of love. Meanwhile, Zhu struggled with his own pain. Learning the truth about his father's sins, he blamed Xiao Yan for not waiting for him and swore to take her back, making Jing Yuan feel the agony of loss. While shopping with his wife, Jing Yuan sensed danger and began investigating suspicious activity. His search led him to a nursing home where he was stunned to hear a familiar lullaby. There, he came face to face with his long-lost mother, who had been hidden away for years. Overwhelmed with emotion, Jing Yuan cried in her arms, only to be shocked when she revealed that the man he thought of as his father wasn't who he believed. Jing Yuan was shocked by the truth he just heard, only for Huey to appear with a sly grin and lead him to Zhu. Zhu greeted him as brother, but Jing Yuan suspected this was just a ploy for revenge. Zhu explained that years ago, their mother Louis became pregnant after meeting Chinny at a ball, but Chinny abandoned her and later even had his men break Huey's leg. Since then, Huey tried to use Jing Yuan to extort Chinny, but Chinny only recognized Zhu as his real son. Jing Yuan wanted no part in this twisted family history, but Zhu threatened to expose everything unless he divorced Xiao Yin. Late that night, Jing Yuan returned home to find his wife asleep on the sofa. Overcome with guilt, he kissed her forehead and tucked her in, torn between his blood ties to Chinny and his vow to protect her. At work, he discovered that a button tied to his past truly belonged to Chinny, confirming Zhu's words. Distraught, he buried himself in work and avoided Xiao Yin, who grew frustrated at his distance. Confiding in Hami, she worried her marriage was already falling apart. Meanwhile, Zhu plotted with Wonking, offering her a deal help him destroy both Jing Yuan's marriage and the Gu Corporation. Suspicious, Xiao Yin followed Wonking to a hidden nursing home, but security blocked her from entering. Inside, Zhu revealed to Wonking that Jing Yuan's real mother, Lui, lived there, and that Chinny was indeed his father. Xiao Yin asked Hami to investigate, learning the nursing home was funded by Chinny's company. At the Gu residence, Grandpa Chong noticed the tension between the newlyweds. While at work, Jing Yuan caught Wonking leaking documents. He forced her to resign but kept his secret. In her heart, Xiao Yin believed Jing Yuan was protecting their family, even if he wouldn't explain. That night, Jing Yuan dreamed of Xiao Yin rejecting him after learning he was Chinny's son, waking up in a cold sweat. On Xiao Yin's grandfather's birthday, Chong Fong quietly slipped away to the cemetery. There, he confronted Zhu directly, warning him to stay away from his granddaughter or risk seeing his father's company completely destroyed. He reminded Zhu that the Qin family still owed the Gu family 2 lives and he would not hesitate to collect. Zhu was warned to stop chasing what wasn't his, or he'd pay with blood. His eyes turned cold as he rammed Chong Feng's car. Zhu recalled how Chimmy once left a dance hall waitress pregnant, never expecting their child to be raised by the Gu family. But Chong Feng declared that family wasn't just blood, it was love and loyalty, and Jing Yuan would always be a Gu. Zhu accused him of covering up how Chimmy harmed Xiao Yin's parents and stole the jade model to help Jing Yuan inherit. Meanwhile, Jing Yuan texted his wife, promising to reveal everything that night. But when he rushed to the nursing home, tragedy struck. His mother, while searching for him, fell from above, and he cried out desperately, begging her to hold on. At the same time, Xiao Yin discovered her grandfather had collapsed. By the time she reached the hospital, it was too late. He had died of a heart attack. Heartbroken, she called Jing Yuan, only to see him with Wonking, which deepened her pain. At the funeral, Jing Yuan forced himself to stay strong while Zhu taunted him with the truth of his bloodline. When Zhu tried to provoke him by hugging Xiao Yin, Jing Yuan almost lost control, but his wife reminded him not to disturb her grandfather's peace. Later, Wonking tricked Jing Yuan into thinking she was helping him, while secretly siding with Zhu. Overwhelmed with grief, Jing Yuan finally broke down before his father's altar, confessing everything to Xiao Yin. He admitted he was Chimmy's son, that his mother had been locked away for years, and that the divorce papers were only a trick to protect her. Tearfully, he begged for forgiveness. Xiao Yin, though deeply hurt, reminded him that while he wanted to keep her, he had been pushing her away with his own hands. Xiao Yin couldn't bear the weight anymore. Jing Yuan, let's divorce. I don't want to be used as a weapon against you. Her words crushed him. He begged for forgiveness, holding her hand as if it were his last hope. But Xiao Yin shook her head. The finality in her eyes left Jing Yuan drowning in despair. Alone, he drank his father's wine and remembered the lesson from childhood when his father punished him not for breaking a pen, but for running away. If you apologize, you must accept that the other person may not forgive you. Jing Yuan wept, regretting he couldn't see his father one last time. Sitting before the divorce papers, he admitted he couldn't sign. He was willing to endure Xiao Yin's anger as long as she stayed. She agreed to delay the divorce, but only if she could take full control of the Gu Group. At the shareholders' meeting, Jing Yuan shocked everyone by supporting his wife to become the new chairwoman, fulfilling her grandfather's wish. Xiao Yin promised to protect the company, and Jing Yuan proudly declared he would stand by her side. but trouble soon followed. A disgruntled former director accused Gu Group of illegal fundraising, threatening to freeze company funds. Meanwhile, Butler Sue discovered dents on the chairman's car that weren't there earlier, and security footage hinted Zhu had engineered the accident in a blind alley. Xiao Yin decided to act. Pretending her car broke down, she borrowed Zhu's and secretly confirmed the damage matched her grandfather's crash. Though Zhu tried to win her heart, Xiao Yin pulled away, realizing he was more dangerous than she imagined. That night, she and Jing Yuan disguised themselves to sneak into the nursing home. He managed to carry his mother out, but Zhu intercepted them, exposing the truth: his mother had a brain tumor and needed regular medicine. Then he forced Jing Yuan into an impossible choice: save his mother or his wife. Watching Xiao Yin in danger, Jing Yuan's heart split in two, but with his mother collapsing, he had no choice but to take her to the hospital first, leaving Xiao Yin in Zhu's grip. Zhu told Xiao Yin he only wanted her to see Jing Yuan's real face, but she admitted her problem wasn't his background, it was the lies and secrets in their marriage. To make Zhu believe she had cut ties with her husband, Xiao Yin pretended to throw away her ring. In truth, she was working with Jing Yuan to uncover the truth behind her grandfather's death. Risking herself, she searched Zhu's room and found a hidden letter where Chimmy admitted covering up his son's sins. This made her suspect Zhu's hand in her parents' accident. Zhu, however, mistook her coldness for affection and confessed his feelings, while Xiao Yin secretly kept her husband updated. Jing Yuan, though worried, let her continue, promising to appear the moment she needed him. At a shareholders' meeting, Zhu proudly declared he had gained the second largest shareholding, only for Jing Yuan to reveal his counter-move. With clever trading and hidden allies, he balanced the shares and secured Gu Group's finances, exposing Zhu's overconfidence. Meanwhile, Xiao Yin managed to steal back her father's jade model and the memory card from Zhu's cabinet, thanks to Wang Qing's help. When Zhu tried to force himself on her after realizing she knew the truth, Wang Qing intervened, buying her time until Jing Yuan arrived to protect her. Though Zhu raged and tried to retrieve the evidence, Xiao Yin had already secured it. That night, haunted by Zhu's cruel laughter, she woke from nightmares, only to find Jing Yuan by her side, reassuring her gently that she was safe and that no one could harm her in their home. Xiao Yin held onto Jing Yuan's hand, begging him to stay close. He promised to always be there, and she reassured him that his father's identity didn't matter because she loved him deeply. Grateful, Jing Yuan thanked his wife for returning to him. When they visited his mother, Chia, her health suddenly worsened. Rushing to the hospital, Jing Yuan trembled as the doctor allowed the family to say their last goodbyes. Xiao Yin prayed her mother would hold on for him, but Luchai only wanted to see Zhu. Just as Jing Yuan arrived, she looked at him one final time before passing away. Devastated, he cried, "Mom, I'm here, please open your eyes." After the funeral, Jing Yuan recalled being abandoned at age 3, when his mother often left and returned to Hiwei's rage. He suspected she visited the Qin family because of old ties with Chimmy. His doubts deepened when Xiao Yin discovered at Ying Hospital that both Luchai and Song Xinyu gave birth their only days apart. She began to suspect the babies were switched. A former servant later gave her Zhu and Chimmy's belongings, confirming dark secrets. At a shareholder meeting, Jing Yuan stunned everyone by revealing he had secretly gained Zhu's shares, becoming the largest stakeholder of Qinyer Group. That night, Xiao Yin remembered that test results proved Zhu was Chimmy's biological son, but Jing Yuan's link was still uncertain. Hoping to uncover more, she arranged to meet her husband at a restaurant linked to Zhu's childhood. There, Jing Yuan recognized it as the place a kind woman once promised to adopt him, only to never return. Meanwhile, Zhu staged an accident to lure Xiao Yin, tricking her into visiting his mother's old home. He confessed his bitterness, believing Jing Yuan had stolen the love that should have been his. Xiao Yin mocked him for not even knowing who his real father was. At Donghu Villa, Zhu revealed the truth. He was Chimmy's biological son, while Jing Yuan had lived his life in pain and abandonment. He laughed bitterly, saying if he had known earlier, he wouldn't have gone so far. In a desperate act, Zhu stabbed Jing Yuan, but police arrived in time. Rushed to the hospital, Jing Yuan fell into a coma from blood loss. Xiao Yin wept at his side, begging him not to leave her. In her dream, he told her to live well, before pushing her away. But her desperate words seemed to touch him. His will to live was strong enough to survive the critical stage. Taking over Gu Group, Xiao Yin thanked employees for their loyalty, rewarding them with bonuses, and vowed to manage the company until her husband returned. Every day she worked hard and every night stayed by his side. Months passed until Jing Yuan finally woke. On their anniversary, he surprised her with a contract for the Xian Theater, encouraging her to follow her dreams while he took care of their family. Sliding a resized wedding ring on her finger, he said meeting her was the greatest blessing of his life. Hand in hand, after countless storms, their love triumphed, bringing the story to a heartfelt and perfect ending.